Hi, let me start today by asking you something. What if the thing that you think is going to speed up your results on a GLP-1 is the exact thing that's actually slowing them down, or doing a number on your health in the background while the good old bathroom scale plays along just enough to keep you fooled? Well, that's what this video today is all about. And if you're on a GLP-1 right now, or you're thinking about starting one, please stay with me, because what I'm going to walk you through today is stuff that most women on these medications have either never had explained to them properly, or they really don't want to hear. By the end of this, you're going to have a completely different way of looking at dose increases, why so many women focus on them, and what's really going on in your body when you do this. Now, full disclosure, some of this might make you a little bit uncomfortable, because once you fully understand the physiology behind these medications, some of the advice floating around out there, such as in Facebook groups, in clinics, and sometimes even from prescribers themselves, well, it starts to look pretty shaky. And that can be a confronting thing when you've only been told that you can't get results unless you continue to increase your dose. Hi, I'm Jane. I'm a nutrition and strength coach specializing in women navigating the spiral we call menopause. And I spend a big chunk of my days helping women just like you navigate GLP-1 medications in a way that supports their health, not just what the scale says. And I have to say, I am really excited to be working in this space right now. The research coming out on these medications goes way beyond weight loss. We're talking cardiovascular health, brain health, inflammation, metabolic function. Look, it really is one of the most fascinating areas in women's health today, and the science is moving super fast, which does mean that the information available can get lost in translation. These are really powerful, exciting medications. And because they're so powerful, it's even more important that women fully understand what's happening to their body when they're using them. Because there is a really big difference between using this medication as the incredible tool that it is and just chasing a higher number on the dial because that scale is not giving you the number that you're chasing. Now, that's the conversation that we want to have today. So why do women increase their dose? Well, usually it's one of a few things. The weight loss showing on that bathroom scale has slowed down or even stalled. Those strong hunger cues are starting to creep back in. Or, and I'd put money on this as being one of the most common things, we hear far too often that you need to keep increasing things so that your body doesn't simply adapt. But before you make that call, before you have this conversation with your doctor, I want you to ask yourself one important question. Is my dose not working, or is it something else going on that I haven't quite worked out yet? Because those two are completely different problems. And throwing a higher dose at the wrong problem is a bit like turning your Wi-Fi router on and off again when the issue is that you simply haven't paid the bill. Now, here's what's actually happening in your body. GLP-1 medications work by dialing down your appetite and slowing how quickly your stomach processes food. For a lot of women, this is life-changing after years of fighting food noise that felt completely out of their control. But here's the part that almost nobody explains properly. When your appetite drops, your food intake drops with it, often without you even realizing. And when your food intake drops too low for too long, your body doesn't just keep losing weight happily on a loop. Now, it's far too clever for that. Your body has been doing this survival thing for a very long time, and it's extremely good at it. Think of it like your household budget. Your money comes in and your money goes out. Well, your body runs exactly the same way. Energy in through food and energy out to run everything that keeps you alive and functioning, such as your heart, lungs, brain, muscles, hormones, even your immune system, and your repair and recovery. All of this has a cost, and your body will always, without question, prioritize keeping you alive over everything else. So when the energy coming in gets too low, it starts making cuts, and the things that it cuts are not the things you necessarily want it cutting. Your metabolism slows down, your muscle starts breaking down for fuel, and in midlife, this is a really big deal because muscle is everything for long-term health. Your hormones will get disrupted, your bone health takes a hit, your recovery suffers, and yes, even your hair gets knocked around. Now, I did a whole video on this recently, and I'll add the link here if you feel like binging my vids this weekend. Now, all of this is what's called low energy availability, or LEA. It is incredibly common in women on GLP-1s, and it's not because the medication is a problem in itself, but because the appetite suppression is so effective that women simply have no idea how little they're eating until their bodies start sending up emergency flares. And here's what trips most of them up. Those flares don't look like a neon sign that says, eat more food. They look like exhaustion, or feeling cold all the time, or brain fog that has you operating at about 60%. You have terrible sleep, and you're picking up every single bug that's going around. You may even be snapping at people for no good reason and then having awful anxiety about it later on. Women experience all of that and assume that it's the medication, or perimenopause, or just being a tired woman in her 40s or 50s holding on for dear life, when it's just simply that their body is flat out asking for more food and they're just not dialed in to listen to it properly. So when should you increase your dose? Well, a dose increase makes sense when you've been properly stable on your current dose for a solid stretch of time. Your body has had a real chance to adjust. You're eating consistently. Your protein is where it needs to be. Your energy is decent, and you're recovering well from strength training, and you're losing fat and not muscle. But the weight loss has genuinely stalled, not just slowed down, but really parked itself despite you not changing up anything. Well, that is a really different picture from simply bumping up 3 weeks in because the scale hasn't moved to where you want it to and you're losing patience. Now, this is not the right call. Here's the part that surprises a lot of women when they hear it though. When weight loss slows on a GLP-1, it's often not because the dose isn't high enough. It's because your body has registered that the energy is too low and it's turned the thermostat down on your metabolism to compensate. Now, going higher on the dose in that situation just makes you less hungry. So you eat even less and you end up digging yourself deeper and deeper into the exact same hole. You end up exhausted, losing muscle instead of fat, feeling totally rough and completely baffled as to why. And unwinding this cycle takes time and effort that really could have been avoided in the first place. The same applies to switching medications, by the way. I see women jumping from one GLP-1 to another, chasing better results, and sometimes that absolutely can be the right move if this is recommended by your doctor. But a lot of the time, the medication isn't the issue. It's what's happening around it: the food, the protein, the training, and the recovery. And switching the medication without sorting those foundations out first is like repainting a wall with damp behind it. It looks fine for 5 minutes, but that same problem is going to come straight back through. Now, the questions that you need to start asking yourself first before any conversation about going up on your dose with your prescriber or just in your own head. And I want you to think about these questions honestly. Am I eating enough? Not, am I not that hungry that I'm probably fine? But are you getting 3 to 4 actual meals a day with real food in them, even if they're small? Now, skipping meals on a GLP-1 because you're not hungry is incredibly common, and it feels like you're winning, especially if that scale number is going down. But you are not winning. Your body is not winning. Nobody is winning. Now, also think, am I hitting my protein levels? Most women on GLP-1s, when they track what they're eating for even a few days, will discover that they're getting around 40 to 50 grams of protein a day when they need around 3 times that. Protein protects your muscle, It keeps your metabolism ticking along nicely. It supports your hair and your hormones and your recovery and your energy. It's non-negotiable, especially in midlife and especially on these medications. And I want you to ask yourself, how are my energy levels? Honestly, are you able to work out effectively, or are you floored every single time you pick up a dumbbell? Are you sleeping enough, and is it really quality rest? Are you functioning like a normal human being, or simply running on coffee more often than you care to admit? And this is the big one. Have I really given this particular dose enough time? Weight loss on these medications is really not a straight line, and it never has been. The fact that your results have slowed does not automatically mean that the dose isn't working. Sometimes your body just needs more time to adjust before it's ready to move forward. And making dose decisions based on week-to-week scale fluctuations is a fast track to a place that you really don't want to be. Now, here's where I want to leave you today. These medications are remarkable. The research coming out on what they can do for long-term health, well beyond the weight piece, is truly exciting. And I want every woman using them to get the full benefit of that. But that also means playing the long game. The goal here isn't to be on the highest dose possible, eating the least amount possible, losing weight as fast as possible. That approach leaves women lighter on the scale, but losing muscle, tanking their metabolism, feeling dreadful, and setting themselves up for a really difficult time further down the track. The goal here is to use what these medications give you, that quieter appetite, that space to make better choices, and meet it with consistent eating, solid protein, strength training, and enough patience to let your body do what it's designed to do when it's properly supported. That's the version of this that really works, not just for now, but long term. Now, I've got a free guide called Running on Empty that goes deeper on all of this, the physiology of what happens when you undereat on these medications, the warning signs that you really need to watch for, and the practical strategies to make sure that you're fueling properly even when your appetite has basically packed its bags and left the building. The link for this free guide is in the description. And if you want proper support navigating all of this, the nutrition, the training, the mindset side of things in a program that's built specifically for midlife women, well, that's what my GLP-1 Bodywise Project program is designed for. All the details are on my website, and I'll post the link below. And if this video made you stop before making that next dose decision, that's exactly why I made it. I want you to share it with someone who really needs to hear it too, because a lot of women are making these calls without nearly enough information. Nobody sat them down and explained any of this. And if there is a topic that you would like me to cover in a future video, please jot it down in the comments below, because helping women just like you uncover the facts, navigate the pathway to long-term health, and most importantly, stay out of a nursing home is what I love to do. So please hit that subscribe button so that you are notified when my next nugget of info is ready for you to watch. Until next time.